Today we're going to learn how to export and manipulate data from the Hands on the Land environmental monitoring data. The first thing we'll do is we'll visit one of our environmental monitoring sections. Let's go to salamander monitoring. Now let's go and look at all the data in there. You can either take this link and you'll get there, or you can go via this link. In our salamander monitoring, we have tens of thousands of records, so we'll need to export the data after we filter it. So the first thing let's do is we'll apply some filters. And in this case, I already have set up a filter for aquatic bag. And then we're going to do the site, Tremont Pig Pen. And then we're going to click Go, and that'll filter the data for us. After we do that, we'll have a list of all the different records. In this case, there are 712 records for this site. We will export it via CSV. CSV files can be imported into Excel, OpenOffice, or any other spreadsheet tool. Depending on how many records you have, it will take longer, less time to export the data. In this case, there's 3,500 records. Then you should have this export complete dialog box, and we'll click download here. And this will download the file to your computer. In this case, in this example, I want us to use OpenOffice sheets. So I have in docs.google.com, you can set up a spreadsheet. And this is kind of like the open source version of spreadsheets. You can also use Excel. In this case, I'm going to go over to I downloaded it here, and I'm going to change this to Sal Data Pigpen. I'm going to go back to Google Docs. I'm going to import a spreadsheet. And let's see, I'm going to upload a file. I'm going to drop the new one into that little square. And it's uploading the file right now. Okay, import, and then open now. It's going to open up a new instance of Google Sheets. And here we have all the data. There's a lot of rows and a lot of columns, and a lot of columns that we're not going to use. I'm going to delete the columns that I do not need in this spreadsheet. So I'm going to select all the way over to temp. We could just hide them, but I'm going to delete them so we have a simple spreadsheet. And I'm going to also delete these. Okay. Now all we have here is we have the date, we have the site ID, we have the species. I'm going to add one more. I'm going to add year, actually a couple more. And in this column, I'm going to write a function. The text is going to be from, let's see, C. I'm going to take column C, and I'm going to give it to the year. So I can have a year in that column. So now I have the year. I'm going to double click on the little node. I'm going to send that formula all the way down. So we have the date now isolated, or the year isolated. The next column, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the count, or I need to do this for my spreadsheet. So I'm just going to do the count, and that's it's going to be 1 for each column. And we'll find out why we need to do that in a minute. And then I'm going to insert another column. This is going to be a species count. And so I can remember what my formula is, I'm going to go over and copy that formula that I used previously. And this one, here is the formula I used. And what this formula does, it says if, in this case, if the species, in this case it's column E, if E2 equals none, then give that value a 0. Otherwise, give it a 1. And I'm going to put that column down. And you'll notice that when a species was found, I get a value of 1. The species was not found, I get a value of 0. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a pivot table. There are other ways to do this, I think. This is just one way to do it. And the pivot table data, we'll need to have rows. And the row we're going to use is for year. Okay, so we have all the years, 2000 to 2014. Let's do values. Okay, so now we have the accumulated values for the species that were found over those years in Pigpen. And the reason why we added this additional column 1 all the way down is because this is just a survey, so it can add it up for us. We can find an average. So we're going to add one more value. In this case, it's going to be count. All right. And so now we see we found 188 species, or 188 salamanders for 263 surveys. We're going to add one more field, and this is going to be a calculated field. I'm going to go back and find the calculation that I used previously on the other site that we did. And the calculated field was okay. So what we have is we have species count divided by, in this case, I called it count. And then we're going to round all of that and give it a 2 decimal out to 2 decimals. So here we have the value, so 0.71 is sort of an index that we've created. So 71% of the times we go to a site, we'll find one of those bags, we'll find a salamander, down to 0.4 in 2008. And now we're going to graph this column and this column. We'll do a line graph. And that looks good. And we're going to say insert. And here we have our little chart. So now we can use this chart. We can compare to the chart we have here. And you'll notice that we have a similarity in the trend of the line. We start up towards 0.7, and then we go down, and then we are coming back up. So I think that's fairly interesting.